For just over a month now, the Summit Hifi A11 amplifier has been in my rack powering my home theater. With its dual linear power supply, a unique 9-inch front display, and an attractive price point, it's bound to get some attention from the audio community. Let's talk about it while we review it in today's video. I'm Barrett, and this is Spec of Tech. Welcome to the channel. Let's kick it off with one of the most attractive things about this amplifier besides that 9-inch screen, and that's the price. It's currently $1,975 US dollars or 2,450 Canadian dollars, which places it very comfortably well below the price of the competition, like the Emotiva or Monoprice Monolith 11-channel amplifiers. But don't let the lower price fool you. This amplifier has an impressive build quality. There are some comments and reviews starting to show up online from other consumers that have purchased this amplifier. I've seen a couple comments about how they expected the price tag to be much higher for the amplifier that they received, simply based on the build quality. And I really have to agree with them here, because everything from the wooden crate packaging to the build of the amplifier gives you the impression it should cost much more. If you'd like to see what I'm talking about with the packaging, I did cover that in my overview video, which I'll link in the top right hand corner of this video. But I'll be completely honest with you here, I do expect the price of this amplifier to creep up in the coming months or years. You simply can't offer this type of build quality, power, and looks while keeping the price this low for too long. The value proposition with this amplifier is quite high in my opinion. You're getting 11 channels and you're getting more power where it counts, which is the LCR channels. These are the most used channels in every home theater soundtrack, which is exactly why they give you more power for those channels. So it's nice to have 11 channels in a well-built package like the A11. To be able to power your entire 11-channel system for $1,975 really is a great value in my opinion. And speaking of value, let's get back to the build quality that not only impressed me, it also seems to be impressing others that have purchased this amp as well. Yes, the outer shell is made from stamped steel, but it's a heavy gauge stamped steel that isn't lacking in structural stiffness in any way, and it's very well ventilated right above the amplification modules, so right where you want the vents to be. Like most amplifiers these days, the front plate is a thick piece of aluminum, whereas most amplifiers go with a brushed aluminum. The A11 goes with a more standard smooth matte faceplate that I think really fits well with the rest of the design of this amplifier. The rear panel is where you'll find all of the connections. All the connections look to be good quality. There was nothing loose on my unit, and it's also very well laid out and easy to understand. Moving along to the front of the unit, you have buttons to control the brightness or to fully turn off the front display. I really do like the addition of the screen on this amplifier in a time where products like Eversolo and Hi-Fi Rose are including some very nice VU meters and some spectrum analyzers. It's nice to have an amplifier on the market that can somewhat match up with those products. The A11 has several VU meters to choose from, which bounce the needle based on the output signal of the amplifier, but he also gets some pretty cool spectrum analyzers as well, which brings me back to the good old car stereo days when everyone wanted a head unit that had some neat spectrum analyzers on it, similar to the ones that are provided on this A11 amplifier. It really is a nice piece of nostalgia that I think most consumers would appreciate. The display looks to be a rear lit LCD panel that has great viewing angles and can get very bright if the situation calls for it. But again, if you don't want the screen too bright, it can also get very dim or can be turned off completely. I also like the fact that the blue module LED lights are not that bright either. When the LED is blue, it means that the module is operating properly, and if it's lit up in red, then it means there's a problem with that module. Mine have been lit blue across the board. I've not had any issues with any of the modules. It's worked pretty flawlessly. The LEDs are bright enough so that you can confirm whether or not all the modules are operating properly, but it's also dim enough so that it doesn't bother you during a movie in a dark room. That being said, I really would like the ability to be able to turn off the module indication lights, and I do hope that they add that in a future version of this amp. And lastly, regarding the build quality, the modules on the inside look to be of great quality also. There are some nice pictures on Summit Hifi's website showing the internals, but Steve at Home Theater Gurus did take the top panel off and showed the insides of the A11. If you'd like to see that, go check out the Home Theater Gurus YouTube channel. And to help keep everything cool on this Class AB amplifier, Summit Hifi made sure to design each module with a hefty aluminum heatsink, as seen in these pictures here. And being a Class AB amplifier, you can expect this amp to get a little bit warmer than something like a Class D amplifier, but I never found it to get overly hot in any way. It only gets warm to the touch, which is surprising considering the A11 is putting out some impressive wattage numbers, which put it in line or even better than some of the competition, all while remaining less expensive. If you take a quick peek at Summit Hifi's website, which I've linked down in the description below, the all channels driven wattage numbers are listed in detail on there, and I do like that they're listed in all channels driven. There are some brands out there that like to list only one channel or two channels driven. They do this because it gives the appearance that the amplifier can put out more wattage than it actually can, but if you run all the channels together, their numbers would be significantly less than what they're showing. So I'd like to give a kudos to Summit Hifi for listing the all channel driven numbers. For those interested, I'll post the numbers here. Feel free to pause the video and have a look for yourself. Here at Spec of Tech, I don't have the equipment needed to measure the output wattage. What I can tell you is that based on my real life experience, the A11 powers my home theater with ease, and it can do so at volumes that are painful for my ears to listen to. It also does so with fantastic fantastic clarity, which I'm sure can be attributed to the amplifier's low distortion levels, but it also accomplishes these loud levels with incredible dynamics, which most certainly can be attributed to the dual linear power supplies. Using two toroidal power supplies like the A11 and its little brother the A7 do helps reduce the bottleneck at the power supply. Most amplifiers will use a single power supply, which can struggle to keep up with loud levels during demanding scenes in music. The A11 is also a neutral sounding amplifier that does exactly what an amplifier should do, which is amplify the signal without adding any coloration or character of its own. So if you're looking for a neutral dynamic amplifier, this is it. The sound quality really is incredible with this amplifier, and it doesn't leave you wanting in any aspect. Another testament to the A11's excellent design is the fact that the noise floor is very low. I can place my ear right next to the tweeter of my speakers, and I have to really listen to hear any sort of hiss. Needless to say, you shouldn't be able to hear any hiss when sitting at your main listening position. And I know that there's some of you that are probably waiting for it, but I'm not going to be doing any audio demos in this video. But if there is enough of you that ask for audio demos down in the comments below, I will make that video in the future. I just don't really see the need in this case for audio demos, considering this amplifier is neutral and the sound greatly depends on the speakers that you're going to be attaching to it. It just won't benefit you much for me to do audio demos. I personally believe that anyone purchasing this amplifier would be more than satisfied with the sound quality, and furthermore, I think anyone purchasing the A11 or A7 amplifiers would be more than satisfied with every aspect of this amplifier. I know that I sure am. Over the past months that I've been using this amplifier, I've not encountered one negative aspect. It's worked without any issues and has not left me wanting in the sound quality department at all. But there are several things that really stand out about this amplifier that I'd like to revisit here. And first of all, it's the build and the look. It comes packaged like a beast in a wooden crate. It's also built like a tank, and it has a 9-inch screen that I believe most consumers will love. I also really appreciate having 11 channels in one package. It's nice to be able to power an entire 7.1.4 Atmos system from one amplifier alone. And the fact that it has that dual power supply, it's able to power 11 channels without any bottleneck issues. All in all, this amplifier has a lot to offer, and it deserves a spot at the top of your list if you are shopping for a multi-channel amplifier. I've dropped links down in the description below for the 11 and the 7 channel if you'd like to check them out any further. Just remember to enjoy your systems. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.